Hello everybody, welcome to my podcast Because I Can with Ridhhaan. Previously we spoke to Victor sir talking about his childhood, the prep he did, the interest of being a soldier, selection process, the challenges he faced, the first feeling of wearing the uniform, his first mission, and moving forward. So what was your most difficult mission?
Ridhhaan, my most difficult mission was and remains being a good son, being a good husband, being a good friend and a good work colleague. If you are asking in the army, so doing the difficult is what the army does every day. The impossible is just what takes a little bit amount of time. If you ask me the most difficult, I cannot identify one because we do everything as a team. And when you have a team that is willing to live and die with you, nothing seems difficult.
Wow, that is truly inspirational, sir.
Thank you, Ridhhaan.
Truly. Sir, how do you self-motivate in general and when you're in a mission?
Okay, so self-motivate, Ridhhaan, in life in general. The fantastic thing is I am enjoying myself every day, everything that I do. I have never been short of motivation personally in my life. What happens is that because I'm always doing something or the other, I get a little tired sometimes and I take a break. I genuinely do not have an answer for you to tell you as to how I motivate myself because I've never felt short of motivation. When you talk about work, again, the army is not an organization. It is not a company. It is a it's a living, breathing, energetic being. It's not one person. It's a group of people. And when you're with a group of people who are trained in such a way that we don't think anything is impossible, there's never been an opportunity or a time where one feels that there is something to be done and you're not motivated to do it. You might feel apprehensive, you might think that it's a little difficult to do, but you're always going for it because it's a crowd, it's a crowd of people doing things together. So you never feel short of motivation.
Wow, sir. Sometimes whenever I feel nervous, I just say, I'm confident, I'm courageous, I can do it.
Ridhhaan, that's really good. Now that's you saying it to yourself, right?
Yes.
In the army, everything you do as a group. You can do it as a section, which is 10 people. You do it as a platoon, which is 30 people. You do it as a company, which is 120 people. Everything you do as a group. So imagine one motivated Ridhhaan and then imagine 120 motivated Ridhaans. So if you forget to say those good things to yourself, somebody else will say it to you. So there is never a time when motivation is a problem.
Yeah. Well, I think that we shouldn't wait for others to motivate us. We should always motivate ourselves because when we motivate ourselves, we be more stronger.
You're 100% right on that. What I meant to tell you is that as a group or an organization of people that is always motivated, there is never a chance. And if there is a doubt in the mind, like you said, that if you ever feel so and you have to say it to yourself, I'm saying that here you don't have to wait for it. Somebody or the other will take you along.
Well, I never thought about that. So what has been your biggest sacrifice?
Ridhhaan, I don't have an answer for this. I really don't have an answer for this. Sacrifice is when you give up something. I have not had to give up anything. Generally, either in my personal life or my professional life, I've never had that feeling that I've sacrificed.
We'll move on to the next question then.
Yes.
So, what does it mean to be a soldier?
Okay, Ridhhaan, to be a soldier means to serve a purpose, to be something bigger than yourself, to let your personal ambitions and goals, let them aside for the greater good.
That is very motivational indeed.
Yes.
So what's the most difficult thing about being a soldier?
Ridhaan, the most difficult thing about being a soldier is to be part of an ecosystem that does not understand what being a soldier is. So when I say ecosystem, I mean, so the country is run by a government, it is run by politicians, it is run by commerce, by people outside. And when people do not understand what it is to be a soldier, and see the defense services by their nature, see, we are otherwise a very powerful organization. We are the only organization that bears arms. And because of that reason, in the rules of our organization, we are not allowed certain things. So our destiny, the destiny of the organization is controlled by an ecosystem, by all of these rules, and by the government, and by people outside, by the opinion of people outside who do not really understand what it is to be a soldier. And that is the most difficult part.
I'm sure it must take a long time understanding that, right?
Yes, Ridhaan.
So what has been your happiest moment in the life?
Ridhaan, again, one inspiration, one happy moment, very difficult to identify. And again, there are certain words I'm not able to really identify with. Like you said, sacrifice. I genuinely have had such a great time throughout. I can think of when I feel happy, when my family and friends generally around me are happy and smiling. One particular moment I cannot identify.
So the best thing is that the whole life you should be happy. That is the best
Ridhaan,
thing.
Yes. I have genuinely not had lows. Maybe plains, but it's been highs all throughout.
Wow, that's beautiful, sir. Extremely beautiful. So, sir, do you ever give up, and what do you think about that decision right now?
Ridhaan, yes, do I ever? At times, yes, I do give up. I have given up at times. I don't look at it as failure, because I have realized, see, there are some things, how do you, or how do people in general know that something is fantastic or very difficult or impossible? Books tell us so. I mean, you have to come to know about it from somewhere, right? Books would tell us so, or movies would tell us so. So when I was in school or college, the most difficult things that I had read, people going on mountains, or people going for missions, like you said, or people jumping from aircraft, or jumping from helicopters, or being commandos. So when I went and did all of these things, I realized that when people say that nothing is difficult or nothing is impossible, it is true, but then people do sometimes fall short. Now they're not able to do it.
Yeah.
That's really not failure. It is just that some circumstances are such where you weren't prepared enough, or it was not meant to be. So there are no failures. It is, you either get something that was destined for you, or it was a learning experience. So those times when I did not get what I wanted, I realized it was just, at that moment it was beyond my reach.
What would you say to your younger self?
To my younger self, I would say take more photographs. No, that has been a shortcoming, Ridhaan. I have had such wonderful moments which I have not photographed. So that is something I would say, and I would also tell myself to celebrate some moments which I have not celebrated. You asked me wearing the uniform. There were some things, every time so you get promotions when you're in the army. Like I said, the army doesn't give you a moment to be alone. So I never celebrated it, but somebody was celebrating the fact that I got promoted. But I realized myself, there were certain moments in life and I should have paused, congratulated myself and felt good about it, and taken photographs. And these are things that I did not do. So this is what I would tell myself.
Well, if I were to tell myself, I would have said, keep on the good work.
Darling, you're so small now and you're already doing a lot of good work.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, I'd say that to my future, to my present, and to my past.
Yes, Ridhaan. Good.
So, how do you handle the situation when you're nervous or scared?
Okay. So, Ridhaan, being nervous or being scared is in response to a situation which you think is threatening you. And I generally have a way of analyzing things. So even this I'm going to tell you a little stepwise. There are two types of threats. One is immediate, you have to do something right then and there. And the other is a threat that you think might happen after some time. In both cases, I've realized that the less you think and the more you act, things get better. So for something that is immediate, I act immediately, and for something that is later on, instead of sitting and thinking what might happen, I write down plans. So any situation where I think that there is a threat, I feel that acting, whether it is immediately or planning to act with steps, systematic steps later on, that solves things for me.
That is very smart. It's always good to plan your things wisely and carefully, or else the threat can take over.
Yes, Ridhaan.
So when you face rejections, now do you think there's a different way of accepting rejections?
Ridhaan, I knew some questions are going to come up for which I won't have answers, and that's just because how my personality is. Like I couldn't answer the happiest moment. I never felt rejected. I inherently, like you, have a very bubbly personality, and at such a young age, you're doing things that so many people cannot think of.
Thank you, sir.
I genuinely have never felt rejected, dejected, or that I have failed in something, because there's always something next.
There's always something new.
There's always something next. New, yes, there's always something new, there's always something next to do. Okay, so have you ever gotten hurt physically, Ridhaan?
Yes, many a times.
Many a times, right? So I've also had a lot of injuries. I mean, I've broken my knee twice, my elbow once, my shoulder once, and there is a photograph that my wife took, and this was photograph when my last injury was there. I had broken and dislocated this left elbow.
Oh God.
So the doctors had put me on anesthesia when they give you drugs so that you are unconscious.
Yeah.
And she took a photograph, and I'm unconscious with a big cast on my arm, and I was smiling. So when I got up, my wife asked me, why is it that in such a... And I'll tell you genuinely why, because even though, a limb of mine was broken, in my dreams I was imagining what next, and I was happy and excited about it. So there's always a what next. So the dejection is something I have not felt.
Wow, that's extremely positive thought, sir. Was there anyone who turned you down?
Of course, it's a lot like when you say rejection, I think. So my father turned down my requests for pocket money. Then when I wanted to join the army, so many times when you are working, you take a proposal to your seniors and it's turned down. I was in the NSG, I told you. My application, when I went to my bosses asking them that I want to go to the NSG, it was turned down so many times. So yes, that has happened.
But in the end...
In the end, you get what you were looking for, or there is something else.
So, did you ever go against your parents, seniors, friends, family to live your passion?
Everything that I have almost done, Ridhaan, has been against the institution that I'm part of. So, in my school, I was told this by my principal. I've done my 12th from the CBSE, that's a board. And he told me that I didn't want to study biology. And I don't remember what the other options were, but economics sounded fancy to me. So I was the first student, they say, in CBSE from science background who did physics, chemistry, maths and economics. And it caused them a lot of trouble because the entire exam schedule had to be changed. Then I did engineering, and I was the first student of that college to join the army, which I told you is something my parents didn't want me to do. In the army also, Ridhaan, again, people outside do not have this understanding that it is also a career. So let's say that, so you write, Ridhaan, right?
Yes.
Right now you're writing books which you feel, or something from your imagination, or something that you feel is true to you. Maybe once you grow up and you have to do this for a living, let's say a publishing house tells you that, Ridhaan, this is the kind of book that people prefer to read and you must write only this book. And that is good for your career, for you to become famous. And then you would have a choice. The same way in the army also, there are some things that one does for a career. And then there are some things that one does because they're passionate about it. So in the army also, I always followed what I was passionate about. Again, in the personal life, so yes, Ridhaan, I can't tell you specific instances of everything, but generally everything that I've done has been not in line with the institution that I'm part of, but at the end, everybody appreciates that things went fine. My parents now are very proud of the fact that I've been in the army and things are fine.
That's great. Sir, I get a lot of punishments. So, what was your worst punishment, sir? As you said before, that you had got a lot of punishments from the army, right?
Yes, Ridhaan.
So, could you tell your worst punishment, sir?
I can tell you, Ridhaan, in the army, one is when you join as a fresher, you're a cadet. And then, like I told you, I have been a paratrooper also, and I was a commando also.
Yes.
So those two trainings also have instances, right? So in the army, punishments are physical punishments.
Oh.
And I think I will tell you the thing which I disliked the most. It was not the most difficult. Actually, in the army, you become you become so thick-skinned that anything that happens after some time really doesn't matter to you. But I'll tell you the thing I dislike the most. So, Rehan, the NSG, that is the Black Cat Commandos,
yes,
they are meant to do operations in cities.
Ah.
So there is a big difference between them and other commandos, because other commandos will operate at the borders where civilians like you are not involved. Whereas the NSG will have to do operations in cities, in hotels, in metros, in offices of companies where other people will also be there. So if they can do an operation or a mission without using bullets which can harm other people, they will try and do so. Now, how do they do that? There is this very bad thing called tear gas. Okay, so
Yes. I've heard of that in that movie Major Sandeep. That was very inspirational to me.
Yes. So tear gas is like it's a grenade which is thrown, and there's this gas, and it makes you. People think that it is just it just makes the eyes tear up, but it burns the skin. Now, if tear gas is thrown into a room, you also have to go in as a commando. So in our training, they make you experience tear gas, and they don't make you experience tear gas in a very pleasant way. So I'll tell you how the first time was when we were made to experience tear gas. So it was a Tuesday, and every Tuesday during our training as commandos, there would be one ritual that was followed, and that ritual was all of us would be made to stand, and there was a pit. You understand a pit? A gaddha, a ditch in which water would be filled.
Yeah.
And then all of us one by one would be made to enter that water.
Yeah.
Okay? And now when there are 300 people entering a ditch, after some time that water starts becoming less in level because it gets soaked in people's clothes.
Yeah.
So when you're around the last 50 people in that water, you see a lot of frogs, you see a lot of insects, and you have to go into that water. That is one very bad feeling. So as it is Tuesday, and that one dress of yours on Tuesdays is gone, you have to throw it away. So after you come out from that water, you are made to do rolls, that is gulatis, in sand, and then you're running front, you're running aage piche, you have to do push-ups, you have to do jump and all of these things. That Tuesday was special because on our instructors' faces we could see a smile, and we were wondering what's going to happen. So we were made to go into water, then we were put in sand, we were made to do that rolling, jumping, push-ups, all of these things, and then they told us, take off your shirts. So we were made to take off our shirts. When you take off your shirt and you roll in the sand, you get bruises on your back.
Yeah.
So we got bruises on our back, And then we were told that get into pairs, that is, one person with another. So one commando with another commando.
Yeah.
And then we were told that, okay, one guy climb on the other guy's shoulders.
Yeah.
So if there are two people, both of them are wearing just the pants are wet, there is sand stuck on the pants, you've got bruises on your back, and somebody climbs on your back, you get more bruises.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of cuts everywhere.
Oh.
And after about an hour and a half of doing this, they made us stand together.
Yeah.
They made us tie our shoelaces with the guy next to us. So suppose there's somebody standing on this side, my right shoelace is tied to his left shoelace, and my left shoelace is tied to this guy's right shoelace. So we couldn't go anywhere. And then they made us sit on the ground, and then they opened tear gas grenades and they threw it between us.
Oh.
And they left. So with that tear gas, your eyes are watery, everything from your nose comes out, and that gas burns your skin. And you're panicking, you're trying to run, your shoes are coming off, you're jumping and falling on top of each other. And but that teaches you how to control your panic in such situations.
Yeah.
Because in case there is a mission, like you said, or an operation where you throw this tear gas amongst people, everybody will be running around and you are the one who has to stay calm. But like you asked, amongst the punishments is the thing I hated the most.
Oh.
I hated that smell of tear gas all throughout my training after that one day.
And how much must be pain if there are bruises, right?
But there's a lot of pain. Ridhhaan, that is what I'm saying, that people really do not understand what it takes to become a soldier. When you arrive for your first day of training, you get a shock as to how rough things are.
You won't expect it to be the way it
Nobody expects it. See, when you go to a college like I went, when you're in a hostel, people are not standing over you looking at how you're eating. You can eat at your own comfort. People stand and watch what you're eating, how you're eating. They don't let you eat. Most of the time we are carrying bread and rotis in our pockets to be able to eat. Everybody loses a ton of weight, and military training is quite brutal to them. That is why there is a very, very systematic selection procedure that they take people who can take it.
Now moving on, here comes my favorite parts. My favorite time. Rapid fire.
Okay, Ridhhaan. All right.
Now we're going to have a lot of fun, okay?
Okay, Ridhhaan.
So I will ask you questions which you need to answer quickly. It is sort of rapid fire.
Okay, Ridhhaan.
Favorite teacher?
Mr. Watson.
Could you tell us a little about Mr. Watson?
I will tell you, if you Google Mr. Watson, you will see a Facebook page of the school St. Augustine's, and you will see it is his farewell. And the first comment you will see is, his slaps made me who I am today. So Mr. Watson was a very strict teacher, and he was very handsome. He carried himself very well. He was an English teacher, and he used to teach in a school called St. Augustine's School in Kalimpong.
Favorite subject?
Physics.
Your favorite travel destination?
Any mountain area.
That's nice. Your favorite color?
White.
Peace. Favorite actor?
Favorite.
Come on, sir, it's rapid
I'm going to be
fire.
very slow in this. Robert De Niro.
Favorite movie?
The Last Samurai.
One place you've never been and wish to go?
Japan.
Your best friend?
Preeti.
Favorite sport?
Mixed martial arts.
Favorite phrase?
Health and happiness.
Huh?
Health and happiness.
That is a very positive and nice phrase. Now choose one. I will give you options and you have to choose one, and you have to do it quickly, just like rapid fire. Navy or army?
Army.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Winters.
Sweet or spicy?
Sweet.
Shoes or slipper?
Shoes.
Indoor or outdoor sports?
Outdoor.
Pistol or rifle?
Rifle.
Music or drama?
Music.
Now this one, sir, you were very fast. 1 + 1 equals to fun. I will give you one word and you have to give one word that first comes to your mind. For example, if I'm saying building or bike, so then the first word that comes to my mind is breeze. So, India,
Home.
NSG,
Profession.
book,
Knowledge.
happy,
Always.
family. Sir, you can't.
Most important. I just got
Friend.
emotional.
Friends,
Necessity.
children,
Maybe.
Pune,
Crowded.
me.
Bundle of energy.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah. So, we are almost to the end of our podcast.
Okay, Ridhhaan.
It has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, sir. I must say, it has been one of the most inspiring and motivational conversation I ever had.
Thanks a lot, Ridhhaan.
As a soldier, your journey is filled with challenges and hardships, but your determination is to protect us, our country. It is truly admirable.
Thank you, Ridhhaan.
I just am speechless. I'm simply speechless of all that you do. And even if it is day or night, blazing hot summers or extremely cold winters, you still stand strong. Your sacrifices are nothing short of heroic. And I am just simply speechless that how strong your family is while you are away serving the nation. It only deepens my admiration for all that you do.
Thank you so much, Ridhhaan.
Separating from a family is extremely difficult.
Yes.
Very difficult. And it always deepens my love for all that you do. And protecting the nation means the heart to me. I feel humbled in the face of everything that you do. And I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of my entire team, friends, family, and everyone listening today. I bow down in front of you and your
so much,
family
Ridhhaan.
for selfless service you have provided to our country.
Thank you so much, Ridhhaan.
Your dedication is truly inspirational. A token of love from me, my family,
Thank you so much.
and my team.
Thank you so much, Ridhhaan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. No, it's a very big thank you to you, sir. This is my first book, Once Upon in My Mind. It has 10 short moral stories.
Lovely, Ridhhaan.
And I just simply loved it. And this one is my first initiative of a story writing competition which was held last year. And in this are the stories of the 8 winners. So I really hope you like it,
I
sir.
love it, I'm sure, Ridhhaan.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Well, I'm glad you liked it, sir. Sir, is there something you would like to say to the children, youth of our nation?
Yes, Ridhhaan, for sure. Okay, and I'm going to be very careful with this. So, Ridhhaan, 2 things. All of us are born with 2 assets, a mind and a body. All of us have that the same, but not everybody uses it or trains it. No matter where, what age you are at, make sure that you're reading and exercising, because you never know what goal, what challenge comes in front of you. Your mind might change. You might be doing something and you might want to do another thing. But whatever you want to do, it is either your brain or your body that is going to support you. And a lot of people my age, once they reach my age, they realize that either they have not read enough or they have not taken care of their health enough. So the earlier you start, the better it is. And the last thing that I want to tell everybody is, please be kind, polite and humble with each other. Try and treat each other the way you would want to be treated.
Very right, sir. Very true. That's very motivational. It means like the whole world. I mean, like the whole world is waiting for these words. That's so motivational to me, sir.
Thank you so much, Ridhhaan.
Well, one last question, sir.
Okay, Ridhhaan.
So now we know what it takes to become a soldier, what prep is required, and how much dedication is needed. But sir, what about the people who are interested in a different field
Yes.
or profession yet who like to do something for their nation? I would like to know from you, sir, what do you advise them? How can they serve their nation?
Firstly, it's wonderful that at this age you are thinking on these lines. But what people can do irrespective of profession is be good citizens. And that does not mean saying and doing patriotic things. It just means having good civic sense. Driving from my home to your home itself shows me the traffic. It shows me how much we lack civic sense. So as long as we are good citizens, we follow the rules and regulations of the country, we are doing our bit. The second thing is we must foster the spirit of unity. There are so many reasons, there are so many forces that will try and divide us, but we have to stay together. The other thing is we should not judge each other by any group identity. You are Ridhhaan for Ridhaan's sake, because of what you do and what you say, not because of anything else. And we should use logic, be rational and be compassionate before getting emotional and reacting to things. So if we do all of these things, we are going to be a strong, unified country.
That I hope that everybody is listening here, and I hope all our viewers learn with small changes and see positive impact.
I hope so too, Ridhhaan.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Jai Hind. Victor, sir, and Ridhhaan signing off.
Thanks a lot, Ridhhaan.
Thank you so much, sir.